Well, hello again, and welcome back to the Trim the Wick podcast. I'm Dan.
And I'm Becky.
And it is Thanksgiving week, everyone.
Hooray!
We have officially hit the holiday season.
We have.
It's the holiday season.
Da, 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 da.
Na, na, na,
I don't know any of the rest of the words.
Something with cheer and happiness and things like that. But we are going to talk about today Thanksgiving. And you know what? Here's the thing is I feel like Thanksgiving always gets kind of a raw deal.
It is. People are either really, really, really about Halloween and they go all into that, or they skip Thanksgiving and go straight into Christmas. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Maybe we should do, well, I guess you already have Thanksgiving Day. I guess that's a party. I was going to say, could we have like Pilgrim dress up day? I guess they used to do that in schools. Before it became, taboo to talk about pilgrims and stuff. But, we should probably have, Pilgrim dress up day and things like that, and
Spirit week at school where you
instead of you go out and you go house to house, and instead of getting candy, you get like dinner rolls and stuff. And, but no. We love Thanksgiving.
Do we want turkey that many days out of the week, though?
You know what? I don't know.
Think of the naps that would be had.
Okay, so I'm going to say something here that I know it's just going to bring hate upon me, but that's okay. Is I'm not a big turkey person. Honestly, I would rather have Thanksgiving Day tamales, which
we have done before.
Yeah, or Thanksgiving Day ham or whatever, because turkey's great and I'm good with it for one meal. But I can't do the 3-4 days. My father, he loves the turkey sandwiches, for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And I just can't do that. I'm just not, it's not my thing. But one of the things is we love Thanksgiving.
It's one of the few times a year that all of our grown adult children are prone to having the day off, and we actually get to see them.
Yeah. And not only that it's really kind of for us, it's been one of the times where we've been blessed to have everyone together. We usually don't even have everyone together for Christmas.
No.
But for Thanksgiving, it just seems to be like that's the day that we usually have your parents, my parents, all the kids are over. We know we've been blessed. Both Becky and I, we are in our 50s, and we've been blessed that we have both our parents.
Yep.
Are still alive and healthy and doing well, and we get to spend time with them. And so, we know we are very blessed to have that. So Thanksgiving's kind of a cherished thing. We kind of love Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I've never been able to identify with the dread that some people face going into family gathering type holidays. And again, we know we're blessed to have our families alive and with us still. We know that we are very blessed to not dread getting together.
Yeah. And I understand for some folks, Thanksgiving time is it can be a horrible time because there's so much fighting in the family and stuff. And again, like I said, we feel very blessed because our parents, the in-laws, they actually all get along together.
Yeah.
And have fun together, and we do stuff. And Thanksgiving for us has been this time where we really get to celebrate, be grateful for what God has given us and what God has done for us in the last year and the things in our lives. And we get to celebrate with our kids and our family. So we do get to celebrate and have that great time together. And I think one of the things is that this celebration or whatever that we have and our parents getting along and us getting along with our kids, there is some work there.
There is.
It's not like it's just something that just happened where everybody gets along. There is some preemptive grace.
Yeah, you have to go in knowing that we are all different people, and we hold different values. We're pretty solid on the core values.
Yeah.
Our entire family, again, blessed to have an entire family of believers. And so there is that commonality in Jesus Christ that really helps.
Yes.
But we don't see everything eye to eye.
Right.
There is grace given for that. And there's some very different personalities. We've got some very introverted family members who are fine to visit for a little while, and then they will be removing themselves to alone spaces for a while. And nobody takes offense to that. And nobody, is like, well, why aren't you no, we give you grace and freedom to be who you are, and the loud and boisterous among us will be loud and boisterous.
Right. Well, and again, we look at our homes, how you grew up and how I grew up. We're a football family. So Thanksgiving was the meal had to be at a certain time so that we could watch the Lions play, and watch football. And you guys was more, you guys.
We went over to my grandparents.
It was more of a long, drawn out, all day long thing, meal and stuff like that, where we did the meal and then it was football. We ate and watched football at the same time, but the football game really became, just as synonymous as the meal, when it came to Thanksgiving. So when we all get together, it's kind of interesting because we do incorporate both.
Yeah.
Where we usually just set up the buffet. We usually don't have a full, this is the meal.
Right.
This is the time everybody sits around the table. It's usually a come and go buffet type thing. We'll have the game on in the background. But
there's conversation happening everywhere, and there's people disappearing into quiet spaces off the side. And there's, in more recent years, as the kids have gotten older and have their own things going on, they'll be here for a little while and then they'll maybe leave and go hang out with friends or, their in-laws, because we have those now.
Yeah, no.
So,
well, and again, it's seeing people there. Like I keep saying this thing of grace, there is a presumption of grace where you need to see people where they are, who they are, and everyone needs to kind of adapt to everyone. And we've seen that in our family that does it, I guess, fairly well because we've never had any issues. And I know that there are some folks that have to have the rigid Thanksgiving and, that causes stress. And I'll be honest with you, for those who are in that situation where, they can't kind of come and go, where it's got to be a rigid.
Right, where there's a tradition there.
Yeah.
And there are families that have very set traditions.
Right, Hallmark card style Thanksgiving meal with the, perfect turkey, and stuff in the middle of the room. This is where that grace is going to just have to flow and have to understand in situations where, what, I might be the stronger brother here and I need to show more grace to my weaker brother or my weaker sister and love them even though they're completely opposite of me.
We're talking, it's a very easygoing, easy flowing thing now, 33 years into our marriage.
Right.
Got to admit, when we were more newlywed, I had a whole lot of anxiety around, am I meeting expectations? Am I, because when you do marry into another family, even if nobody's said anything about, well, I expect you to do this or expect you to do that, sometimes your own internals, your own thought process goes, well, but I'm sure that they expect me to XYZ.
Right.
I'm sure that they expect me to put on this big spread. I'm sure that they expect me to have the picture perfect thing. I'm sure that they expect me to. And one of the things that our family has learned to do over the years that has helped us extend that grace to one another is that when we start having those kind of internal mental things going on, of I'm sure that you expect me to do this, we've gotten pretty good at being brave enough to go to each other and go, I feel like you expect me to do this. Do you really expect me to do this? And we have those conversations and we've learned, okay, well, there is an expectation here and expectations aren't always a bad thing.
Right.
Right? Sometimes it's just well, yeah, I kind of do have that expectation because that thing means a lot to me.
Right.
And if I understand that that thing means a lot to you, I'm a lot more inclined to go ahead and, I may have to go out of my way to make that happen, but we're going to do that because I care about you.
Right.
Or, oh my goodness, this expectation that I have of you is really throwing you into a tailspin because it makes you overwhelmed and makes you feel like you can't handle all the things. Let me just take that expectation off of you because I care about you.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to remove that expectation. And over the years, those kinds of conversations have really helped us find how to give grace.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of couples, especially new marrieds, is that communication with your in-laws.
Yeah.
And with your, even your own parents. Communication is paramount. Yeah, I think of the John Maxwell quote, where he says, like, everyone communicates, but very few people actually connect in their communication.
Yeah.
It's not just a thing of talking, but it's actually being able to understand, this is something that means a lot to me. If we had, I'm going to just pick something random, but it's like, if Thanksgiving is not Thanksgiving without pumpkin pie,
then make the effort to have a pumpkin pie.
Go to the store, go to Publix, get the Publix pumpkin pie. Yeah. If you can't bake it and you don't want to bake it, or ask and say, hey, I know you love pumpkin pie and I know you love your pumpkin pie.
Would you bring that?
Bring that.
Yeah.
I don't have to kill myself in trying to impress you with something that you already do well.
Okay, so what's the one thing in our house, the one food item that came from your background and it is now a staple?
Oh, spinach dip.
Spinach dip. We got to have spinach dip, and it's got to have the sourdough bread, and your mom does an amazing job with it every single year.
And I want her to bring it to every occasion. We're doing something special. Hey, Mom, you want to make spinach dip? But I mean, that's that understanding and grace, and it's communication.
Right.
To be able to say those things, you've got to be able to listen and speak so that you're able to provide what people want and people.
Yeah, it's that thing of going, it's not a competition for your family's way growing up was right and my family's way growing up was right. We're not battling who gets to win here.
Right.
We're learning how to respect and honor one another's traditions, one another's tastes, one another's values on things that matter. Hi, I identify as one of the introverts in our family. And one of the things that overwhelms me is a lot of noise. Well, trying to have a conversation while football's on in the background is difficult for me. And it drove me crazy for a couple of years until we figured out that the football could be running in the background and the people that enjoy the football could be happily enjoying the football. And some of us could drift off to a side room or outdoors and have quieter conversation. And it wasn't a bad thing. It's not a rude thing. It's just, we can all be who we are in the same space and drift in and out of the various activities that are going on without judgment, without annoyance and frustration at each other, without, well, but I want you over here doing this with me. No, I can give you grace and latitude to go enjoy what you enjoy, and we're still in the same space and we're still celebrating together and nobody's making each other crazy.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's that thing of being aware of the people around you, being aware of the situation that's going on and that people are different, and being able to communicate with each other. And sometimes that communication is, we're going to do, you go in the other room.
Yeah.
And let me hang out, and we're going to be loud and cheer and have a great time watching the game. And we're going to, all the officials are blind and everything else through the whole game. And you don't have to sit there and get all tense because it's such a high energy, a high stress environment that we enjoy. You can go and relax, and we can still all be together and have a memorable time together, and a time that is good, and that we look back and go, that was fun. Well, you guys were separated the whole time. No, we were actually together the whole time.
Yep.
But we were playing to each other's strengths and weaknesses and giving grace and loving. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And I know listening to this podcast is, not going to change your world this this Thursday when you listen to this and you go to your Thanksgiving meal. But I hope this opens your eyes to some of the things that maybe you can do to be the bigger brother or bigger sister, show grace, mercy, have a better time.
And maybe begin to build the communication in your family so that as your family grows through the years, Thanksgiving and Christmas and birthdays and whatever the big family days are in your home, become more and more and more of a cause for gratitude instead of a cause for dread.
I think we're just going to leave it there. I know it's a little shorter podcast than normal, but it is a holiday week, and we love you guys, and we're so grateful that you listen to us here on the podcast. And we want to look forward to seeing you again next week as we head into the Christmas season. Yeah. And
but have a wonderful time taking a break and counting your blessings this week.
That's right. Be thankful for all things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Love you. Bye.